will make sure that people are where they need to be. And the agitator, just like the washing machine, not only where you get people and bug people down to get what needs to happen and bring them to focus on what they're doing, but you also shake off anything that might stop them from doing. That's what an agitator is.
Okay.
An organizer also provide human and technical assistance. A lot of times we bring people to meetings, we let them have computers, we print and stuff, but human assistance means recognizing what are the challenges that people face that stop them from being involved, that stop them from being involved in improving their lives. And that's the human thing, the thing around not just providing food and a meal at a place, because that's fellowship, but providing child care. Being able to be there, because our children need to be in our learning spaces and not make people feel bad because they have children when we're talking about children. Or a place where somebody got an elderly parent or somebody they working with, a grandmother might be raising a child. Be human, connect with the human spirit of that person and provide that kind of assistance. The other thing that an organizer does is build leadership, and that's the most important one for me right now, because I stand on the shoulders of a lot of people, and the people who taught me stood on the shoulders of a lot of people. And for some reason down the line, we have forgot to pass on a legacy, and we now have about 5 generations that are adults, and we still waiting, saying they're not ready. And there's certain times where we talk about the good old days, but nobody talking about the days. Good old days could be the day. And if we don't deal with something today, it's going to be history tomorrow.
Right.
And so we really need to pass on a legacy of organizing from an anti-racist perspective in order to bring together that true diversity and richness that this country says it's about. And so we got to pass on something to the younger generation, not pass it on and say, you got to do it like me, but pass the information on and let them do what they do. And then they pass it on, and hopefully there'll be some future generations that will sit back and say, I'm glad my mom or my daddy and the people whose shoulders I stand on did their piece, so I could find my way in the movement of organizing. And a good organizer build movements.
Okay.
Because if you're not building a movement, you have no way of connecting with other people. You just an island.
Right. That's
and we don't make a change without a movement, and the movement don't happen until you move.
So it's a verb.
Movement is a verb.
Requires what? Action.
It requires action.
Yeah.
And the other thing, it requires accountability.
Yeah, come on.
Because somebody brought you in and opened a circle for you, and so it's our responsibility to keep that circle open.
Yes.
A good organizer also help people get a sense of their own power. Not your power, not my power. We use the word empowerment too loosely. And nobody here on this earth that I know of have the power to empower nobody. There might be false power, but it's not real power. Everybody got power in it. So a good organizer know how to recognize, it knows that everybody have power, and draw out that power and help people get a sense of their own power, not the power I have because I know something, because you know something too.
Yeah.
And so those are some of the principles that we were taught, and we were taught and have internalized to be real. And so those are principles, and there are many other ones, but those are principles of organizers' accountability. And when we talk about accountability, that's another word that's being loosely thrown around. And everybody using transparency, accountability. You know, everybody want to transform, and we're throwing around words that really surface words, but we don't understand what we're saying. And accountability is just counting on your ability to do what you say you're going to do. I'm not counting on your ability. I'm counting on my ability to do what I say I'm going to do. And if everybody do what they say they're going to do, and if you can't say you can't do it, then we'll be able to move stuff. And that movement becomes a verb, and not necessarily just some little stagnant thing that's just sitting there waiting for somebody to pick it up.
Yeah. Because, you know how I communicate spiritually, and ideas and things like this only have a certain amount of shelf life. You know, if you want it in its purest and rawest form, then once you pick it, you got to be prepared to prepare it and eat it. Otherwise, you got to pollute it with preservatives and keep the color up. And by the time the people take it in, it ain't what it started out to be.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the thing that I guess what I want to say. Get your take on it. You know, when do you move? You know, when do you become active? You know, is it the moment that it hits you? You know, that's something that I wrestle with all my life. You know, when do I step forward? When do I make this move? And then I was told it doesn't have that long a shelf life.
It doesn't, but I think even when we talk about movement in a place that we have lifted up, rightfully so, our mentors, you know, the celebrities, the people who weren't celebrities at that time, but we have made into icons and celebrities, we have lifted up so high that we have lifted them so above the people that we make the people believe that they're not doing. Because every day you are doing something, but depending on where you're spending your time, energy, and attention is where it's moving. You know, and time, energy, and attention is something that we're exploring under our Victims to Victors healing path sessions, and that's the thing where we talk about addressing the internalization of racial oppression.
Right.
Because sometimes we don't move, not because of the physical shackles that we used to have, but the shackles on our mind. And the messages of the past that we need to know, but sometimes could keep up us prisoners and stop us from moving forward.
Thank you.
So every day we have to find ways out of spirit, because it's only spirit and hope that take us and make us move. And we are moving whether we want to or not. The question is, where are we moving? And what are we moving for? And that's the critical question. You know, and if we don't move now, when? If it's not us, who?
Right.
Because somebody came and did it for us to be here to even talk about movements.
Yes.
And it's not our it's our responsibility to make sure we moving it. We moving anyway, so we may as well move and do something.
That's right, and do it together. You know, do it together. Agree to disagree where we have to, and just keep it moving. You know, I think that's part of the reason that, you know, we have this mess, and, you know, people are able to get on television and call a presidential candidate's wife their baby mama, you know, and go unchecked by it. You know, that's just the most blatant form of institutionalized racism that, you know, is just right there in our face. You know, how dare you know, come on and refer to the presumptive nominee's wife as Obama's baby's mama. Obama baby mama.
Only because
come on, tell me why.
We have allowed them. Only because we have put words out that really didn't have a whole lot of meaning in places. Like my grandma used to say, casting out pearls before swine. They don't understand what it is. They use it loose lips and chips. And it's only because of racism and having the privilege to be able to say that, but without having accountability to be responsible for the words you use and the meanings they have. And so people will say they're just words. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words form our reality. And you put it on this national media and all these sound bites, people start using it, and it builds an environment of disrespect.
Yes.
So our thing is not to just always react to it, but the way we are and how we model will make the difference. See, we always trying to get somebody else to get it, but once we look at ourselves and say what we doing and model something different, and it's modeled in a true spirit of hope, love, and accountability, then accountability meaning that you accountable to making sure you creating a different world than what you came into.
Right, exactly.
Then we don't have to always respond and react to what the media say. The media is doing what it's supposed to do. It's how we respond and how we consuming it that's making it thrive.
Okay.